Yo, wagwan gentle people, Sanjay Uche here, and welcome back to the channel. And before we get into tonight's video, I just want to say, yo, thank you, shout out, respect, enough love and appreciation to everyone that supported the channel up to this point, and those of you who are to come, honestly, because we recently hit 1400 subscribers, and to be honest, the plan was to say, wait till we reach, like, 2000, that's the next milestone, I'd imagine, or maybe 5000, but yeah, I guess this is our 1400 subscriber special for for lack of a better term. But I hope you guys have had a great day. As you can see, I'm kind of, for the most part, home from work not too long ago. So yeah, so as you can tell by the video title and thumbnail, tonight we're talking about just a bit of spoilers for tomorrow's chapter of the Boruto Manga, chapter 55 specifically, as well as my impressions on the, as you can tell, Attack on Titan. Because if you've been following stuff in my community tab, you've seen me put out that I actually recently got into the series properly, and I'll explain what I mean by that when we get there. And for the last thing for this video, I believe I should be reacting to an AMV. For the interest of, what you're here for, I'll leave the timestamps. They should be appearing on the screen here or there, in terms of if you want to just skip to the section where I talk about X or Y. Of course, I'll be starting with Boruto, so it is. But of course, if you're new here, respect for tuning in. Of course, subscribe. Tomorrow I'll be tackling the chapter, whether by live stream, review, or both. And naturally, I'm not promising any Attack on Titan videos, but I want to talk about my impressions here on it. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So Boruto Manga Chapter 55. Of course, if you haven't checked out my expectations and predictions video on the upcoming chapter that I put up on, I believe it was Tuesday or Monday, one of the two, you can definitely check that out. Let me know what you think. But with tonight's, or this portion of tonight's video, we'll be tackling a bit of the spoilers that came out regarding the fate of Kurama the Nine-Tailed Fox, and just my, I guess, impression or my thoughts on it. I haven't really, I've seen some scans, but I haven't really gone in depth to, look at a bunch of spoilers for the sake of my potential live reaction tomorrow night. Now, Kurama being gone. Funny enough, 2 months ago I did do a video talking about Naruto losing the Nine Tails. I'll definitely leave a link to that so you can hear what I had to say 2 months ago. That was after chapter 53, I believe. And honestly, to see it come to this point based on what I've seen from the spoilers, it's very interesting to say the least. In terms of, I know some persons are going to bring up the idea that, since tail beasts, usually eventually respawn in the world, but I think for the most part this is a permanent deal. I think, especially going into the time skip and the fact that we're marketing things with Boruto's character being, or his just whole life, spiraling downhill, Naruto losing the Nine Tails, there being some, loss, some stakes being raised as a result of the recent conflicts that needs to be introduced into the story at the end of the day. I'm not gonna lie, it works for the benefit of the plot when it comes on to tension and drama, because now we have a weakened Naruto who's not as strong as before, and who's to say his chakra system is as efficient and effective as before. So this is kind of part of that whole, introducing some, I guess, stakes, tension in some shape or form. There's some repercussions for the recent fight. There's no, get off scotch-free or anything like that. There are consequences to, the fights that we go into regarding the Otsutsuki. So there's that. So I don't really have much of a problem with it. I imagine it's going to be a very emotional chapter for us readers who have been, with Naruto since day one, and especially I'm looking forward to seeing how Naruto himself reacts as a character to, the source of his childhood, problems, to a change from the demon to the hero to, it's just interesting looking at the whole life of Kurama at this point. But kind of to backtrack to what I was saying, I know some persons are gonna take it that the tail beast should resurrect at some point, but as I said, I think it's permanent, given how Barren mode was explained, in the sense that you kind of convert your chakra to something else and it burns out, essentially, in a nutshell. So I think at the end of the day, this is going to be a permanent deal when it comes on to Kurama. I don't think there's no coming back unless unless they split off, they reveal that a part of Kurama was split off, you know, at some point, or something for safekeeping. But other than that, I think this is a permanent deal and Kurama will not come back after this, honestly. And honestly, it kind of ties into, you know, phasing out Naruto and Sasuke and how much they can contribute to the story, because at the end of the day, it's Boruto's story, and going into the time skip, characters in Boruto's generation, including himself, will really have to take up the mantle and, you know, push the story forward. They'll have to be the proactive agents in the story. So that's the thing at the end of the day. So it being a permanent deal, it kind of meshes with what the kind of vibe we're going for in the narrative at this point, especially with Boruto's character, especially with, you know, phasing out Naruto and Sasuke, and based on how Baryon mode was explained. So I guess we'll see how I react with full context of the events in the chapter tomorrow. So you can definitely subscribe if you haven't. Look forward to that. I look forward to interacting with you guys and seeing how the chapter goes tomorrow, and just the reaction to Naruto losing this long time comrade in arms, to say the least, at this point in the timeline. So yeah. Alright, so as I said, I finally checked out Attack on Titan properly. So I'll explain what I mean by that. So of course, like most anime fans in the community, I have heard of Attack on Titan. I've seen clips, I've watched 1 and 2 episodes, like, you know, not in any particular order, with acquaintances or friends here and there. But I never really sat down to like properly take it in, if I'm being honest. And with the most recent, or the final season that's airing now, that didn't change. But you know, something like a bit of curiosity got to me, because I've actually been watching a number of like reaction videos from YouTubers like Heavenly Controller, and of course I've been hearing about the complaints about the animation and the CGI, and, you know, Mappa being hurried to do this final season and all that madness. So there's no way I couldn't have, you know, heard about all of these things naturally. But it was at one point, a few weeks ago, right, where I was saying like, yo, like curiosity got the best of me, because when I heard that the final season was gonna only have 16 episodes, so like curiosity kind of just hit me right there. I'm like, 16 episodes? I wonder if he'll finish the story, if he'll finish adapting the manga properly. So it started with that question, and then I'm like, So I had a friend who was watching it every Sunday as well, so I was kind of reasoning with him that, you know, would it finish everything? And he was like, he doesn't read a manga. So I went ahead and kind of checked where, I think at the time the anime was at, season 4 was at episode 7 or 8. And I was like, let me see how far this goes into the story. I'm like, okay, this is about chapter 104, 105. But if there's going to be 16 episodes, that means it's potentially not going to finish adapting the entire story. So I'm like, interesting. So there might be a movie. That's my prediction. So write that down. Final movie for Attack on Titan, more than likely. So I'm like, okay, interesting. And then I was kind of checking out, you know, I've been kind of spoiled on a few things over the years, to say the least. So yeah, but so I was kind of getting more and more curious. I was seeing it's kind of political. I've heard persons saying it's kind of like Game of Thrones, like the Game of Thrones of the anime community. So like, yo, it's kind of political, and then it's like, yo, this kind of reminds me of Gundam. I'm like, when, you know, like, there's a lot of characters a lot of factions there. Like, there's a lot of persons in the gray area, so there's not really, things aren't as black and white in terms of like good and bad. So, and I kind of like those kind of series. So I'm like, all right, this is kind of like Gundam, and it's like the curiosity kept building from there until it's like, yo, you know what? I'm just going to sit down and start this series and hopefully catch up before the final chapter drops in, well, a little under 2 months time now. So, and that was that was a factor in terms of me getting into it. It's like, yo, the manga's ending, let me see if I can catch up before. You see me? So I'm not gonna even hide and and lie to you guys, like, yo, the manga's ending, let me just get into it. So there's that. So I guess that's the how and why. So yeah, now my impressions on the series, right? Honestly, I would recommend Attack on Titan to anybody. It's kind of like a similar situation to a One Piece, where I will admit I feel like it's okay. I can't use I and say objectively, but objectively, the writing is great. It's amazing. I love it. And it might be a case like similar to a One Piece where even though objectively it's amazing, it might not be for everybody, but I would highly recommend it to anybody who hasn't gotten into Attack on Titan just yet. And it's funny, based on what I've been spoiled on as well, guys, it's like it's so interesting, it's so amazing to see that a lot of the characterization in the, I guess, after the time skip in season 4 are in the about chapter 91 and above in the manga. A lot of the characterization, like say with Eren, it's amazing to see the roots or the some of the, I guess, the dominoes that were lined up to get him to that point. Because based on what I've been spoiled on and what I've seen in season 1 so far, because I'm at season 2 episode 4, yeah, I'm kind of alternating between, you know, comparing with the manga. It's just interesting to see like certain little instances that have contributed to how I've been seeing Eren in season 4. And like from memory, there are 2 scenes that really stand out to me. Well, probably about 2 or 3. There are more, obviously, but like spoilers, of course, if you haven't watched it. I mean, this is a whole spoiler video between the Boruto chapter and this. But I mean, thinking back on times where, you know, Levi was saying like, you can't cage Eren, like no matter how much you try to put him down, like when they went outside the wall when they encountered the female Titan, Annie. And of course we had, which other scene was it again? Jano. I'm trying to remember here. Yeah, that same mission with the female Titan when all of, well, Levi's squad was killed off, and you know, Eren was saying like, I trusted in my friends, but that didn't accomplish the mission. That didn't really solve anything by just trusting in my friends and just having confidence in them. It's just these little scenes, like I imagine persons who are up to date when they look back on it, it's like, yo, channel, it's these little scenes that really contribute to the characterization and how things have really boiled down in the final sections of the story. And yo, it's just amazing, man. Like the fact that you can see like the little tidbits of like narrative that have contributed to things all the way into the final acts of this whole story. Honestly, I think that in itself proves to me that this is an amazing series, anime, manga wise, whatever the case may be. Attack on Titan is like a must watch, honestly. Like it's that good. And of course, when it comes on to the anime, like I wouldn't want to say superficial, but like at first look, of course, stuff like the music, the animation, the arts, the choreography of, like, obviously those things are amazing. It's good, but the nitty-gritty, like just the characters, the pacing, especially since it's seasonal. So honestly, I'm loving it. And it's just that the fact that a lot of things between the factions and how you're handling all of this conflict, the fact that, as I said, I made the comparison to Gundam where a lot of things seem almost like a lot of characters are in the gray area. Like you can't necessarily say, yo, this guy's 100% good. It's just his circumstances have kind of essentially forced X or Y character in certain positions, and you have all these different factions, and it's just interesting to see how things are going to boil down. And I think at the end of the day, it's just reminiscent of how things would probably boil down in real life, and how, you know, how the worst of the worst circumstances can change people at the end of the day. And I think when in a story like this, anybody can really relate to it in some shape or form, or if not relate to, you can empathize with almost every character, every side in the story. So I think that's what contributes to Attack on Titan being yeah. So there you go, my impressions on Attack on Titan. Of course, I'm not saying I'm doing any reviews because the story's almost done, but if there's select episodes you want to see me react to, then let me know. I'm also, as I said, I'm kind of spoiled on a lot of things, so it's gonna be interesting to see how I react. So yeah, but thanks thanks for hearing my little Attack on Titan impressions there. Alright, so to round this off, I was requested to do a reaction to an AMV. Those of you who have been, I guess, watching me, or I've been kind of keeping up with this channel for a long time, you know there's an AMV playlist. I used to do AMVs and all that jazz and blues, but yeah, not anymore. So I've kind of grown out of it, but I've been requested by, well, I believe he's changed his YouTube name. It should be Hidden Leaf. Yeah, no. Nah, not Hidden Leaf. Hold on. Let me double check. This is kind of embarrassing when you think about it. Jeez, peace. Rock Lee. Yeah, Rock Lee of Youth. Yeah. sorry. Don't crucify me, man. I've totally forgotten your YouTube name because I know you changed it. I believe you're a white, what should be White Fang right now. So, yeah, let's see what you have for me in terms of this AMV. Alright, so naturally, as with all our most reactions, we'll have the channel banner on it and the audio will be turned down for this section here. I'll leave the link to his AMV in the description below because hopefully I really don't want this video to be claimed. So here we go. Yo. Wait, voila. If I turn up the volume on this, voila. Yes, me. Yo, voila. Yo, you put some serious time into this. Yo. No, bro. No. You've officially made some solid improvements. Like, honestly, this alone, I can imagine it took you probably like balancing doing this plus I guess your normal schedule if you're going to school or whatever, man. Like, I can imagine this took you like at least probably a week or two. Honestly. Because trust me, that was that was good. As I said, the audio for the AMV will probably be like way down, so because I don't want this video to be clean, so I'll leave the link to his AMV in the description below. Check it out, guys. Trust me, I probably have AMV fatigue in terms of like doing AMVs, but honestly, I can see effort when it comes on to AMV. I can see effort when I see it, and this, yo, that was effort. But I have to rinse and repeat a few times. Come on, dissect it because that effects. But yo, but anyway, that's all I have for this one, people. Of course, thanks for tuning in again tonight. I know I probably didn't do anything too crazy editing wise, just casual, you know. I'm home from work, we need to get some food and all of these things, so and I really want to get this video out as soon as possible. I don't want it to be too late, especially since tomorrow's a hectic between I'll be based on the poll I have regarding the chapter for Boruto in my community tab. Most persons seem like they want me to still do the live stream when I get home from work. So yeah, because I won't be at home when the chapter drops. So I was asking, it's either I read the chapter at work and come home and do the review, or you know, don't read and do my reaction live stream when I come home, as I've been doing these past few months. So, well, at least last month, because before that I had the days off when the chapter dropped, so I was lucky enough to, you know, catch it that time. But this is what it is. But again, respect for tuning in. If you made it, especially if you made it this far, thank you again for 1,400 subscribers. Things aren't moving as fast as I'd wanted, especially since the aim is to hit 20,000 by the end of 2021. But at the same time, I know it's kind of easy to kind of get lost in the statistics, you know. Oh, another subscriber, yeah, another number. But at the same time, you kind of have to take a step back and say, oh, this additional subscriber is another person that's investing time. They're spending time on your channel when they didn't necessarily have to. So respect again. That's really it at the end of the day. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. Hopefully this I've rambled on long enough. So thanks, and I hope you guys are having an amazing Thursday night, and hopefully your weekend starts off on the best note that it can. So Sanjay Uchiha, rate, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the Boruto videos for tomorrow.